Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the practical printing series yet again. Today's challenge is a couple of pieces of network hardware. I've got an edge router and a network switch that I'd like to add to my network, but keeping them in one place and moving them around has been a little bit of a hassle, and I kind of like the idea of having a rack to put them in, but because they are such small consumer-grade equipment, don't think there actually is much point in buying a rack for this, so today we're going to print a rack for these. It's just going to be a stack of those two. Coming up in the future may be adding on the modem. Not sure if that's even going to be worth our time, but for these two, it's going to come in really handy. So what you should be seeing on your screen now is the photos of the measurements that I've taken so that we can go into Tinkercad once again to model these up as a negative volume or a hole and build them into a box. Once we've taken a brief look at those, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the actual process of putting them together in Tinkercad. We're going to speed right through that because you've seen that before, and I don't want to waste your time. And here we are in Tinkercad. Let's go ahead and start by building out the basic shapes of the items that we want to put into the box. We're going to start out with one of them, then make a copy of it and adjust it to match the size of the other one. So once we've done that, we're going to want to stack them into the orientation that we eventually want them to be in. We also want to make sure there's a little bit of a gap between the two so that there's some structural support, and then bring them up off of the base a little bit so that there's still some structure underneath as well. So let's adjust this box to where it fits nice and flush against the front with a little bit of a gap around the edges, once again for structural support, and then line everything up. If you want more tips on how to do all of these things that you're seeing, you might want to go back and take a look at episode 1. We will resize the back of the box to make sure that it fits the largest of the two in depth. Then we're going to copy those boxes and extrude them so that we know for sure that it'll go all the way through, because we don't want to put things into a blind hole. Putting anything into a blind hole is always a pain trying to get things out, so either we needed a small hole or we needed a big hole. And what you see us putting together right here right now is a ramp, one that I believe that I will be able to shove the edge router or the switch past if I need to. It's only 1 millimeter tall and it is ramp shaped, so you should be able to shove right past that. But yeah, let's go ahead and print that. And here we are in Prusa Slicer, my preferred slicer. We're going to go ahead and stand that up on an end so that we can get the ramp going in the correct direction. We're going to use the adaptive layer height so that the layers are the right height, and then we're going to go ahead and go through all of the normal settings that I use for most of my practically printed parts, which you can find in some of the previous episodes. And then we're going to do a sanity check on the G code to make sure that it looks about right, and we're going to go back in and recheck some of those settings that I forgot to set the first time, and then reslice. As you can see, this thing is going to take about 6.5 hours. So yeah, let's see it when it gets done. And here we have the finished print. Let's go ahead and do a test fit. I think this one goes on this side. And it does. That fits perfect. And that little bump stop at the back that we put in worked just fine. Let's see about this one. Nope. I'm sorry, that was probably quite loud. But yeah, that doesn't seem like that got it. So I think the holdup here is that bump stop in the back, not quite big enough for this one. So it kind of sort of rests there, but you can see the gap along the top that was put there specifically for these feet. And the feet, I guess I should not have given quite so much leeway. That kind of works, and for what I need, it's good enough. So yeah, I think we're going to call this good. I may do a reprint with this hole slightly less tall, But as far as how to actually get around and do that, I think this does it just fine. Well, it looks like that's going to do it for us today, guys. I wanted to say thank you for hanging around this long. If you did and you haven't already hit subscribe, please do. Just so you don't miss out on any of the other cool stuff coming on down the road. If you'd like to hang out with us, please hit us up on Discord. Link is in the About section on the channel, or you can go to discord.wonsnot.com, and I will see you guys in the next one.